Well, I keep hearing buzz about Florida's wide receiving core. J.D. Pickell saying the intel's great. Josh Pate saying, oh, they're buzzing. They love the receiving core. So what's going on with Florida's receiving core to support DJ Lagway? Brandon Olsen of Locked On Gators is here to discuss that very fact. Is this an off-season media overhype, Brandon, of Florida's receiving core, or is this one of the 3 or 4 best units in the SEC?
Yes. That's what I'll say. I will say yes. I think that Florida's receiving room is incredibly talented. But there's very little proven production in there right now. As far as being actual wide receivers, like Trey Wilson had a phenomenal freshman season. Last year was hurt, but most of what we've seen him do has been catching passes behind the line of scrimmage on not even screens, but pop passes, basically just handing the ball off to him. So we've never really seen him play true receiver. Michael Sturdivant, I think that if you cut the film, you'll see a very talented receiver. Production wasn't there, but was any receiver productive for UCLA last year?
No, I mean, the best quarterback he's had in his college career is Jack Plummer.
Yeah. So not exactly put in a position to succeed there, but he's here to do that now. So I think that Michael Sturdivant is a very good receiver. I think that he's a player where you cut the film and you see him be a very good receiver. Trey Wilson has the production, but on film, he's not running downfield at all. He had one deep catch last year, and it was against Samford. So does it count? We'll see about that one. A ton of youth, a ton of speed in the room, and I think that's really what it comes down to. I think that everyone's looking at the high school ratings, and which, by the way, high school recruiting services, you're all clowns. So I think that they see those ratings and they fall in love with that.
Oh,
and
come on, they can't all be clowns.
They're all clowns. And they see the speed and they love the speed. And that's what it is. So I understand buying into it. I do think that this receiver room can be one of the top 3 or 4 in the SEC. But as far as everybody, I feel like acting as if it's a proven or a given already, I think that's a little bit premature.
How important is this unit to be that good for Florida to get back to a bowl game, which would be a good season? It still feels weird to me to say that as, oh yeah, getting to a bowl game would be a good season for the Florida Gators. Like that still feels wrong to me internally. And let me cast this image about Florida for next year, Brandon. I think the SEC is as open as it has been in the last several years. I think it was incredibly open this past year, and Florida was pretty close to rising to the top of it. Don't tell me they couldn't have at least challenged Texas if they'd had, I don't know, a healthy starting caliber quarterback in that particular game. I look at the Gators and say, maybe they're just a 5-6 win team and Billy Napier's just fighting to save his job. But if there was ever a time, I kind of feel like it's now. I think Texas is really good. I do. Talked about them earlier in today's show. If they land David Bailey, look out for that defensive line. It would be filthy, and it's already one of the best in all of college football. Yeah, Georgia's going to be good. Unproven at quarterback. LSU, is Brian Kelly getting over the hump? He's got the quarterback, but I don't know about... And you just kind of look around and go, what's a surefire thing? What's a surefire... Alabama, not a stable quarterback situation. They're in flux and turnover there. I look around this SEC and say, hey, if Florida, who has recruited very well, as you know, over the last couple of cycles, if they play to their full potential, is there a reason that they couldn't win 9-10 games? So that's the first angle. And then the second question is, how do the receivers factor into that?
First, let me say this. If bowl game means good season, just fire me now, Locked On, because I will drop expletives if they barely make a bowl and they're like, yeah, Billy, come on back. That'll be crazy. I think that personally, it's college football playoff or bust for me with the Florida Gators. I think that when you look at this team, I get last year, wasn't the way that everybody thought it was. But when you look at this team, the way they've recruited, the way they've built through the portal, I mean, I can't look at this roster and say that this isn't a top 12 roster in college football. I just can't. It's up to the coaches at this point. And If the coaches can't get you there, that's why I say college football playoff or bust. If they can't get you there, get rid of them. It's as simple as that. The goal is still win a national championship. And you have as good a roster as you've had in years. This is a better roster than when Florida played in the SEC championship game in 2020. Like this is a better roster than that. Receivers, I think that they really help open things up. You know, Billy Napier is going to want to run the football. Russ Callaway is the new offensive coordinator. I'm not convinced that he's not going to be calling plays. I know right now Billy says he will still do it. I'm not sold on it, to be honest. I could still see him handing off that play calling duty to Russ. And when you have Russ, an air raid guy, and you have receivers with this much speed, this much talent, running backs that will just punch you in the mouth, 4/5 of your offensive line returning, like receivers, someone stepping up makes this team so much better. Like if Trey Wilson, who I fully believe can be a good receiver, I mean, you look at his movement skills, and that's someone that should be a good route runner. If Trey Wilson can do that, on top of J. Michael Sturdivant being a legitimate X receiver, if Aiden Mizell reaches 70% of what I think Florida Gators fans think he's going to be, then I think that you're looking at a top 3 receiving class or receiving core in the SEC. And I think that, you know, that they fall into it in the sense that you got to be able to put up points in modern football. We know that when you have a quarterback like DJ Lagway who's looking to take deep shots, receivers are going to be a very important part of that. And that's what I'm looking for this team to actually reach their college football playoff potential.
Last time we spoke, we discussed an injury to DJ Lagway and kind of how that was evolving. Is there any update there, good, bad, or indifferent?
We'll say that from what I've been told, if there were a game, he'd play. There's not much. They're keeping that.
It doesn't instill mountains of confidence in what it's going to mean by the time. I know September at end of August is a ways away. We're, basically 4.5 months from the season, which let that be a glimmer of hope to all of you who miss college football. 4.5 months. That's not as far as we were 4.5 months ago, I'm saying.
We're 4 months into the year already.
Exactly. Yeah, we're cruising. We are absolutely cruising along. Locked On College Football helps me pass the time. Hopefully it helps all of you do that as well. But is this something that you think eventually does go away for DJ Lagway, or going into fall camp, is it still going to be, hey, is DJ fully healthy?
I will say that I don't fully buy any severity to this. I feel like this is more precautionary than anything else. I have said before that I don't trust everything about this disclosure process, we'll say, about it all. Because you look at off-season videos and we see DJ Lagway going through everything. He's doing push-ups and pull-ups, and if you have a shoulder injury, I don't think that you're going to be pulling up 250 plus pounds at QB. I don't think you're going to be pulling that up right now. And we've seen him do push-ups, pull-ups. We've seen him go through everything. The only thing we haven't seen are videos of him actually throwing the ball, and I do think that it's very important to remind everybody that media gets 12 to 15 minutes of access to practice, and then they go indoors.
12 whole minutes, huh? Oof.
And then you don't, I know, marathon men. And then you don't get to see anything more than that. And so I think that it's very important to take all the context in of we really see nothing when you think like we don't see anything. We've been told that, yes, if there's a game, he'd play. We've seen videos and pictures of him sweating and going through every workout except actually throwing the ball. I will say I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with him not participating, him not playing, practicing. Not saying that I blame him at all. I do think that this is just the coaching staff being extra cautious with him and keeping some things close to their chest. But I hate it. I think he was immensely talented. I think he is immensely talented. I think that he had a great season for a true freshman, but not a great season overall. And I do think that he needs that development and he needs those reps to continue improving and to be the starting quarterback that Florida needs him to be in 2025.